The Roman Empire is often praised for its advancements in architecture, engineering, and governance. However, one area where the empire fell short was industrialization. Despite their technological achievements, the Romans did not fully embrace industrialization as we understand it today. There are several reasons why the Roman Empire did not industrialize. One of the primary factors was the availability of cheap labor in the form of slaves. Slavery was widespread in ancient Rome and served as a source of free labor for various industries such as agriculture, mining, and construction. The reliance on slave labor provided an abundant source of free workforce for these sectors. As a result, there was little incentive or necessity for Romans to develop complex machinery or technologies to automate tasks that could be accomplished through manual labor. The availability of cheap labor allowed for the continuation of traditional methods and practices without the need for significant technological advancements. Furthermore, the Roman economy was primarily agrarian-based, with agriculture forming the backbone of their society. The use of slave labor in agricultural activities ensured a steady supply of food and resources without requiring extensive mechanization. Another factor contributing to the lack of industrialization was the social structure and mindset prevalent in ancient Rome. The Roman elites viewed manual labor as something beneath them and reserved it for slaves and lower-class individuals. This societal attitude further discouraged investment in technological advancements that could potentially replace human labor. Additionally, unlike later periods in history where there were significant advancements in science and technology that fueled industrialization, ancient Rome lacked a scientific revolution. While they made notable contributions to fields such as engineering and architecture, they did not have the same level of scientific inquiry that would have driven innovation in industry. Unlike later periods that witnessed groundbreaking discoveries and advancements in science and technology, ancient Rome did not have a dedicated focus on pushing the boundaries of scientific knowledge. This can be attributed to several factors. Firstly, the Roman society was primarily focused on expanding its empire through conquest rather than investing in scientific research. Additionally, Roman intellectual pursuits were more inclined toward philosophy, literature, and law rather than experimental sciences. Furthermore, there was no established system or institution dedicated to fostering scientific inquiry during ancient Rome. The absence of universities or research centers limited opportunities for scientists to collaborate and exchange ideas. As a result, there was less emphasis on conducting systematic experiments and developing theories based on empirical evidence. Despite these limitations in scientific exploration during ancient Rome, it is important to acknowledge their notable contributions to fields such as engineering and architecture. The Romans showcased incredible engineering skills with their extensive network of roads, aqueducts that supplied water throughout cities, and monumental structures that still stand today as testaments to their architectural prowess. In conclusion, while ancient Rome excelled in areas like engineering and architecture, they did not witness a scientific revolution comparable to later periods in history. The lack of institutional support for scientific inquiry combined with societal priorities focused on expansion rather than intellectual pursuits contributed to this disparity. Nonetheless, their remarkable achievements continue to inspire awe even today. Furthermore, Rome's focus on conquest and expansion also played a role in diverting resources away from industrial development. The empire's military campaigns required vast amounts of resources and manpower which were directed towards maintaining control over conquered territories rather than investing in industrial infrastructure. During the height of the Roman Empire, their focus on conquest and expansion had significant implications for their industrial development. The empire's military campaigns demanded extensive resources and manpower, which ultimately diverted attention and investments away from industrial infrastructure. The Roman Empire was constantly engaged in expanding its territories through conquest. This required a vast amount of resources, including food, supplies, and raw materials. The empire had to allocate a significant portion of its resources towards maintaining control over the conquered territories. As a result, there was less emphasis on developing industries that could have contributed to economic growth. Furthermore, the need for a large standing army meant that Rome had to continuously recruit and train soldiers. This further strained available resources and manpower that could have been otherwise directed towards industrialization efforts. Additionally, maintaining control over distant provinces necessitated building roads, fortifications, and other military infrastructure rather than investing in industrial projects. The prioritization of military conquests also led to an imbalance in terms of resource allocation within the empire. Regions directly involved in warfare received more attention while areas with potential for industrial growth were often neglected. This hindered the development of industries such as manufacturing or mining that required substantial investments in infrastructure. In conclusion, Rome's focus on conquest and expansion had a considerable impact on diverting resources away from industrial development. The need to maintain control over conquered territories demanded vast amounts of resources and manpower which could have been otherwise utilized for promoting economic growth through investing in industries. Lastly, cultural factors undoubtedly played a significant role in hindering the adoption of mass production techniques in Roman society. The Romans held a deep reverence for manual labor and craftsmanship, valuing the skill and artistry that went into creating products. This preference for artisanal workmanship created a cultural bias against mechanized production methods. In Roman society, individuals who were skilled artisans were highly esteemed and admired for their craftsmanship. The ability to create high-quality, handcrafted goods was seen as a mark of prestige and status. This mindset prioritized the uniqueness and individuality of each product, rather than the efficiency and standardization that mass production offered. Additionally, the Roman society had an ingrained belief in self-sufficiency and self-reliance. They prided themselves on being able to produce everything they needed within their own communities. This self-sufficiency extended to their economic practices as well, with many Romans engaging in small-scale agricultural or craft-based livelihoods. The emphasis on manual labor also extended to social hierarchy. In Roman society, manual labor was often associated with lower social classes, while those engaged in intellectual pursuits or governing positions held higher status. This societal division further reinforced the cultural bias against mechanized production methods that were perceived as lowering oneself to engage in menial tasks. It is important to note that while these cultural factors may have hindered industrialization during ancient Rome, they also contributed to the remarkable artistic achievements and enduring legacy of Roman civilization. The intricate craftsmanship displayed in their architecture, sculptures, pottery, and other artifacts continue to captivate us today. In conclusion, cultural factors such as the value placed on manual labor and craftsmanship, a preference for artisanal workmanship over mass production methods, an emphasis on self-sufficiency, and societal divisions between labor types all played a role in hindering the adoption of industrialization practices within Roman society. In conclusion, while ancient Rome achieved great feats in many areas, it did not embrace industrialization due to factors such as reliance on slave labor, lack of scientific revolution, diversion of resources towards conquests, and cultural preferences for craftsmanship over mechanized production methods.